to act as if you are the best isn't a rehearsal for arrogance. It's a deliberate, disciplined rehearsal for excellence. Think of it as adopting the operational posture of someone who won, not to deceive others, but to rewire how you approach decisions, setbacks, and daily grind. When you act like the best, your body language changes, posture straightens, voice steadies, and micro behaviors, eye contact, handshake, firmness, punctuality signal competence. More importantly, your internal dialogue shifts. You stop negotiating with fear and begin negotiating with standards. This isn't wishful thinking, it's cognitive framing. Cognitive framing determines which opportunities you see and which risks you take. Someone who believes they can win will try things a timid person won't, ask for bigger responsibilities, pitch bold ideas, negotiate fair compensation. Acting like the best rewrites your action threshold. You take initiative. You assume responsibility. You anticipate problems and prepare solutions rather than waiting for permission. That habit compounds. Repeated assumptions of competence generate small wins. Wins that, over time, expand both skill and reputation. But there's a critical guardrail: ethical grounding. Acting like the best must be coupled with honesty and humility. Pretending to know what you don't, or taking credit for others' labor, is not this practice. The true highest performer posture is confident competence plus humility. You know your strengths, own your limits, and quickly close gaps. A practical routine to embody the posture. Begin each day with a 2-minute statement of capability, clear, present, tense affirmations rooted in evidence, not fluff. Follow with one actionable aim that stretches you, and end with a micro review of what went well and what you'll tighten tomorrow. Over time, that discipline converts posture into habit, habit into capability, and capability into results. Acting as if you're the best is not a one-time pep talk. It's a method of living that elevates choices, sharpens accountability, and turns potential into proven outcomes. If the mindset is the firmware, daily practices are the software that runs it. People who operate at the top do predictable things with obsessive consistency. They design their environment to reduce friction for excellence, clear workspace, prioritized to-do list, routines that conserve willpower. Mornings often begin with small victories, a quick workout or mobility routine to charge the body, a focused 20-30-minute session on the most important task before email and social noise invade, and brief journaling that aligns the day to core priorities. Those early rituals anchor identity. You're someone who shows up and produces. Next, they practice deliberate learning. The best treat learning like compounding interest. 30 minutes a day in a focused domain adds up enormously, but learning is not passive, it's applied. After acquiring a new concept, they test it in real-world tasks that matter. They also harvest feedback. They ask for critique and parse it objectively, extracting signal and discarding noise. Another practical habit is the time, block and guard approach. High performers protect deep work blocks and use short scheduling windows for context-switching tasks. This reduces decision fatigue and increases flow time. Physical recovery is also prioritized. Quality sleep, hydration, and nutrition are non-negotiables because peak performance demands metabolic support. Socially, they curate a circle that challenges them. Peers who are candid, mentors who raise the bar, and a small support system that holds them accountable. Importantly, the act as if posture includes readiness to execute, which means preparation. Preparation looks like checklists, pre-mortems, anticipating failure mods, and rehearsal. An actor rehearses every scene, so too must you rehearse your conversations, negotiations, and critical presentations. The disciplined repetition of these practices makes excellence less mystical and more inevitable. Acting like you're the best will invite reactions, admiration, indifference, and sometimes critique. How you handle criticism separates the durable performers from the fragile. The first step is to decouple ego from feedback. Ego makes feedback sound like a verdict. A wise performer treats feedback as data, raw information to be filtered, interrogated, and used. Ask, is this feedback about facts or feelings? If it's factual and helpful, implement it quickly. If it's emotional or projection, acknowledge and move on. Another danger is comparison addiction. Measuring success only by comparing to others is a brittle strategy, because it places your identity outside your control. Instead, use comparison strategically, benchmark to set standards, but measure progress against yourself. What did you do better than last month? What skill moved forward? This inward focus produces sustainable motivation. There's also the humility paradox. Acting like the best does not mean thinking you are perfect. In fact, the best are often the most uncomfortable with their limits, because they see gaps as opportunities. So cultivate confident humility. Own what you do well with evidence, but keep a short list of glaring weaknesses and attack them with focused practice. Finally, confront imposter feelings by logging wins, a running ledger of concrete achievements. Projects launched, feedback highlights, solve problems, provides an objective counterweight to doubt. When criticism comes, consult the ledger. If a critique aligns with a pattern, change course. If it's a one-off, let it pass. The goal is to be resilient, learning-driven, and unmoored from external approval. Short bursts of brilliance are theater. Steady discipline is a factory that produces results day after day. Acting as if you're the best requires the stamina to play a long game. The long game is built on systems, not moods. Systems include rituals, Ella's daily deep work, metrics, leading indicators that show progress before final outcomes arrive, and accountability loops, a coach, collaborator, or written weekly review. Discipline is not punitive, it's enabling. It enables compounding small daily improvements, 0.5% better each day, accumulate exponentially. To operationalize, choose one area where you want to be best and craft a 90-day plan with measurable milestones. Break the plan into weekly micro goals and daily check-ins. Use a simple dashboard, 3 tasks that must be done today, 1 metric to track, and 1 micro lesson learned. Protect deep work by marking 2 hours a day as sacred. During those hours, remove notifications, close chat windows, and use a minimalistic environment that minimizes distraction. Train attention like a muscle. Start with 25-minute pomodoros, increase intensity gradually, and log distractions to eliminate recurring temptations. Also, accept the reality of boredom. Consistent improvement often looks like monotony. Repetition of basics until they become excellent. Resist novelty for novelty's sake. Finally, celebrate system wins, not only outcomes. The moment you finish a productive week without succumbing to comfort is itself a win worth noting. This nurtures the habit loop cue, routine reward, which cements discipline into identity. When you act like the best, you become a leader by default. Leadership in this posture isn't about grand speeches, it's about influence through consistent excellence and responsibility. Leaders who act as if they're the best take ownership of outcomes, even when things go wrong. This ownership breeds trust. Teams follow people who do not blame, but who diagnose, fix, and communicate clearly. Influence also comes from clarity of standards, articulate non-negotiables, equality thresholds, timelines, communication norms, and hold everyone, including yourself, to them. This creates a culture where excellence is the baseline, not the exception. Another leadership behavior is magnifying others' strengths. The most secure performers know greatness is not finite. Lifting others multiplies results. Delegate meaningful work, offer candid development feedback, and create stretch assignments that facilitate growth. Be rigorous in recruitment. Hire for culture fit and for hunger. Because the people you surround yourself with will shape what you can accomplish. Communication is the practical tool here. Clear expectations, timely feedback, and storytelling that aligns daily tasks with larger purpose. Remember transparency. When you make a mistake, say so. When you succeed, share the credit and explain why it happened. Finally, lead by modeling recovery. High performers fall, leaders show how to recover faster. That teaches resilience. Acting like the best, then, is not self-centered triumphalism. It's a leadership ethic that elevates both individual results and collective capability. One of the biggest misconceptions about acting as if you are the best is the assumption that it inevitably leads to arrogance. In truth, confidence and arrogance are two entirely different operating systems. Confidence is grounded in evidence, effort, and preparation. It says, "I am capable because I've trained, I've learned, and I am willing to adapt." Arrogance, on the other hand, is hollow. It is a loud proclamation without substance, often fragile and defensive. The difference lies in how you carry yourself and how you treat others. When you act as if you're the best, you don't need to belittle or overshadow others. Your performance does the talking. The best leaders, athletes, and thinkers are rarely the ones shouting their superiority. They are the ones executing relentlessly. True confidence is quiet, calm, and consistent. Arrogance requires noise because it seeks external validation. Confidence is self-sustaining. To avoid slipping into arrogance, anchor yourself in humility practices, deliberate gratitude journaling, reminding yourself daily of how much you don't yet know, and engaging with mentors who check your blind spots. Humility doesn't contradict confidence, it strengthens it. When you can say, "I know I'm strong here, and I still need work there," you project maturity. This balance is what allows you to act like the best without alienating those around you. People are drawn to competence wrapped in humility, not to fragile egos wrapped in bravado. Stoic philosophy offers a critical foundation for this practice of acting as if you are the best. The Stoics taught that external judgment, praise or criticism, lies outside our control and therefore should not govern our choices. When you act like you are the best, you detach from the audience. Your performance, preparation, and discipline become the main metrics, not applause. Marcus Aurelius wrote that fame is noise after death. Epictetus argued that we only control our actions and attitudes. Both teachings harmonize with the idea that to act like the best is to act from internal conviction, not external validation. This indifference is liberating. You no longer need constant approval. You act from standards you've set. When others mock or doubt you, it does not destabilize your direction. When they praise you, you acknowledge it without becoming addicted. The best mindset is therefore not about social comparison, but about inner governance. A Stoic performer operates like a disciplined craftsman, producing quality whether or not the crowd claps. This produces consistency. Imagine an athlete who only trains when cheered versus one who trains rain or shine. The latter is inevitable in success. So, anchoring your confidence in internal measures protects you from the volatility of public opinion. Act as if you are the best, but remember the true audience is yourself, and the true approval is from your reasoned conscience. Acting as if you are the best does not mean believing you will never fail. On the contrary, it means preparing to fail better and recover faster than others. Setbacks are inevitable rejection letters, failed projects, lost competitions, business collapses, broken relationships. What separates the best from the rest is resilience, the art of bending without breaking. To act like the best, you must adopt a mental framework that sees setbacks not as identity crises but as data points. A failed presentation, that's feedback about your clarity or delivery. A lost client, that's insight about market fit or negotiation skills. Resilient people metabolize pain into progress. They run a mental loop, reflect, learn, adapt, move. They do not linger in victimhood. Practical tools for resilience include failure logs, writing down mistakes and extracting lessons, stress inoculation, deliberately training in uncomfortable conditions, and perspective zooming, asking yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Biological resilience matters too. Regular training, nutrition, and sleep provide the hormonal and neurological foundation for bouncing back. Emotionally, resilient individuals build strong social ties. They don't isolate in defeat, but reach out for perspective. Acting like the best means embracing adversity as tuition fees for mastery. Each setback becomes a sharpening stone, shaping you into someone not easily shaken. The mindset shifts from, "Why me?" to, "What now?" That transition is the core of resilience. The most important conversation you have every day is the one you have with yourself. Self-talk programs identity, and identity drives action. When you act as if you are the best, your inner voice must align with that posture. Negative self-talk, I'm not good enough. I always fail. Others are better, is like malware. It corrupts the operating system of your mind. Positive self-talk is not delusion, it is reprogramming. Instead of I can't do this, you say, I'm learning this. Instead of I always mess up, you say, I'm improving each time. Neuroscience confirms that repeated affirmations rewire neural pathways, reinforcing belief systems that eventually shape behavior. To practice this, design a morning script of empowering self-talk, 3 affirmations anchored in evidence. Example, I prepare thoroughly, and it shows in my work. I adapt quickly and learn faster than yesterday. I bring clarity and solutions where others hesitate. Speak them aloud, because hearing your own voice reinforces the belief. Throughout the day, catch negative thoughts and reframe them on the spot. Over time, this practice shifts your default language to empowering patterns. Athletes, CEOs, and artists all use this technique. It's not fluff, it's cognitive engineering. To act as if you are the best, ensure your inner dialogue sounds like a coach, not a critic, because the strongest opponents you'll ever face live inside your head, not outside. Excellence is not purely mental, it's physiological. The body is the instrument through which all high performance is expressed. If you act as if you are the best but neglect your health, fatigue and illness will betray your ambitions. Energy management, therefore, is central. This means more than hitting the gym. It means systematizing sleep, nutrition, movement, and recovery. Sleep is the foundation. 7 to 9 hours of quality rest enhances memory consolidation, emotional regulation, and decision-making. Nutrition fuels focus whole foods, balanced macros, and hydration stabilize energy and prevent crashes. Movement keeps blood flowing and primes creativity. Even a 15-minute walk boosts problem-solving capacity. Recovery practices such as stretching, mindfulness meditation, or strategic rest days prevent burnout. Energy is also managed socially and mentally. Spending time with toxic people or overloading with distractions drains you just as much as skipping meals. The best performers guard their energy like capital. They invest it in high-return activities and refuse to squander it on trivialities. Create personal rituals, no screens before bed, midday movement breaks, and structured digital detoxes. Acting as if you are the best means treating your body like a Formula One car, precision-tuned, carefully maintained, and always ready for peak performance. Without energy, even the strongest mindset collapses. With energy, your mindset becomes unstoppable. To act as if you are the best, you must carry a vision larger than your current circumstances. Vision is not fantasy. It is a clear mental image of where you want to go, sharpened by clarity and discipline. The best don't simply react to circumstances, they bend circumstances toward their vision. Vision fuels endurance because it gives meaning to struggle. Imagine 2 people lifting heavy weights. One sees it as pointless pain, the other imagines a stronger future self. Same discomfort, different endurance. The best performers connect every daily act to a bigger picture. This means defining what being the best actually means for you. Best in your craft, best in service, best in leadership. Without definition, the pursuit becomes vague and unfocused. To build vision, practice long-range thinking. Write down where you want to be in 5 years, then reverse engineer the milestones backward into yearly, monthly, and weekly goals. Visualization techniques reinforce this. Close your eyes and picture yourself already embodying that role. How you walk, how you speak, how you decide. Neuroscience shows that mental rehearsal activates similar brain pathways as physical execution, effectively training your future self into the present. But vision must be paired with action. Without consistent follow-through, vision becomes daydreaming. Acting like the best means living as if that vision is unfolding now, aligning choices and behaviors with the person you are becoming, not just the person you are today. Fear is a universal human experience. Even the most accomplished people feel it. Before a speech, during negotiations, in moments of high risk. What separates the best is not fearlessness, but courage. Courage is fear in motion, the ability to act despite trembling hands and racing thoughts. To act as if you are the best is to embrace fear as a signal, not a stop sign. Fear signals that something matters, that growth is possible. The best reinterpret fear as energy, adrenaline that sharpens focus. Techniques for courage include exposure therapy, gradually placing yourself in more challenging situations, reframing failure as feedback, and adopting mantras like, "This is practice, not judgment." Public speakers, for instance, reduce fear by repeatedly rehearsing in small, safe settings before stepping onto larger stages. Entrepreneurs test courage by taking small calculated risks before scaling. Acting as the best doesn't mean you never fear rejection. It means you train yourself to keep moving even when rejection is likely. This resilience builds a reputation for boldness. Over time, courage becomes second nature. People begin to trust you not because you never falter, but because you act decisively in moments when others freeze. Fear, when harnessed, becomes fuel for growth. To live as the best is to accept fear as a companion and move forward anyway. The true best are not those who peak once, but those who sustain mastery over decades. Mastery requires relentless refinement. Acting like the best means committing to practice far beyond the minimum required. Consider musicians who rehearse scales daily, athletes who drill fundamentals even after championships, or writers who edit the same piece dozens of times. This is not redundancy, it is precision. The mindset here is Kaizen, continuous improvement 1% better each day. To practice mastery, break your skill into micro components and obsessively refine them. A speaker might focus 1 week on tone, another on pacing, another on gestures. A coder might refine efficiency, security, or design aesthetics. The best use feedback loops. They seek criticism from peers, mentors, and even competitors. They also document their progress, keeping track of small gains that build into major breakthroughs. Mastery is not glamorous, it is repetitive, patient, and often invisible. But the payoff is undeniable. When others plateau, the master continues to rise. Acting as if you are the best means refusing complacency, staying hungry even when comfortable. It means treating every project, no matter how small, as a chance to sharpen your edge. The pursuit of mastery is endless, but it is this endlessness that keeps the best ahead of the rest. Acting as if you are the best is not only about personal success, it is about influence. Influence means your behavior, words, and results ripple outward, shaping others. The best understand that their presence is contagious. Confidence inspires confidence. Discipline inspires discipline. Think of how a leader's calm in crisis can steady an entire team, or how an athlete's dedication motivates an entire generation. Legacy emerges not from intention, but from consistent influence over time. Ask yourself, if someone watched your daily habits for a month, what would they learn? That is the seed of your legacy. To maximize influence, lead with integrity. Integrity means alignment between words and actions. People trust those who are consistent. Influence also grows through teaching. The best share what they know, not to prove superiority, but to lift others. This builds an ecosystem of excellence around them. Legacy is also about contribution. What problems did you solve? Whose lives did you improve? What ideas did you advance? Acting as if you are the best therefore shifts focus from ego to impact. Your success becomes a platform for others, and your presence becomes a standard that outlives you. The highest form of acting like the best is not proving superiority, but creating a future where others can be their best too. Talent is visible, but consistency is invisible, and consistency wins. Anyone can perform at a high level for a week, only the best sustain it for years. Acting as if you are the best demands this invisible superpower. Consistency is built through routine and discipline, but also through identity. If you see yourself as someone who always shows up, you act accordingly, even when motivation is absent. Systems help, fixed morning rituals, scheduled learning times, weekly reviews. But mindset is the true engine. The best don't wait to feel inspired, they honor commitments regardless of mood. Consistency also requires forgiveness of small slips. A missed workout or failed deadline is not catastrophic if you return immediately. Perfectionism breaks consistency, resilience sustains it. To strengthen consistency, track streaks and celebrate small wins. A 30-day streak of journaling or exercise builds momentum. Consistency compounds like interest. Each day stacked builds an identity unshakable by setbacks. People often overestimate intensity and underestimate consistency. The best invert this small, consistent efforts produce greater results than sporadic bursts of brilliance. Acting as if you are the best means committing to boring, repeated actions that accumulate into extraordinary outcomes. Consistency may be invisible, but its results are undeniable. The best are not rigid statues, they are fluid, adaptable forces. Acting as if you are the best means refusing to be broken by change. Markets shift, technology evolves, relationships transform. Those who cling to the past are left behind. Adaptability is not mere survival, it is proactive evolution. To embody it, practice flexibility of thought. When presented with new information, don't resist, evaluate. Ask, what can I learn? How does this change the game? Where is the hidden advantage? Adaptability requires humility. You admit that yesterday's strategy may not win today. It also demands courage, because change is uncomfortable. Yet discomfort is where growth hides. The best don't fear reinvention, they engineer it. They pivot businesses before collapse, retrain skills before obsolescence, shift strategies before crisis. Adaptability is strengthened by curiosity. Read widely, expose yourself to unfamiliar ideas, talk to people outside your field. The more mental models you collect, the faster you can adapt when old ones break. Physically, adaptability shows in resilience under stress, training your body and mind to remain calm in chaos. Ultimately, to act like the best is to embrace change as an ally, not an enemy. The adaptable are always relevant, always ahead, because they refuse to fossilize. Technical skill may win battles, but emotional intelligence, EQ, wins wars. To act as if you are the best, you must master the human element. This means awareness of your emotions, regulation of impulses, and empathy for others. The best performers know how to stay composed under pressure. They recognize anger, fear, or pride rising and pause before acting. They read subtle cues, body language, tone, hesitation, that reveal more than words. EQ also fuels influence. People follow leaders who make them feel seen and understood. To sharpen EQ, practice reflection after interactions. Review how your emotions influenced outcomes. Keep a journal of emotional triggers and strategies to handle them. Practice empathy deliberately. Listen without preparing your response, and summarize what you heard before replying. The best use EQ not to manipulate, but to build authentic connections. They understand that excellence is amplified in teams, and teams thrive when trust flows. Acting as the best means remembering people will forget what you said. They will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. The best spend time alone. Solitude is not loneliness. It is a workshop for clarity. In the noise of modern life, notifications, news, endless chatter, your vision and purpose get diluted. Acting as if you are the best means carving out solitude for reflection, planning, and deep thinking. History's greatest leaders, philosophers, and innovators all practiced solitude. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations in isolation. Einstein walked alone daily. Steve Jobs often retreated into quiet spaces before big decisions. Solitude provides detachment from external pressures and helps you reconnect with internal truth. It clarifies priorities, which goals are truly yours, and which are borrowed from society's expectations. In solitude, you confront your weaknesses honestly and design strategies to overcome them. To cultivate this, schedule daily or weekly silence, no devices, no distractions, just you, a notebook, and your thoughts. Walk without headphones. Journal freely. Meditate. Solitude may feel uncomfortable at first because it strips away masks. but it also equips you with unmatched clarity. The best are never fully defined by the crowd. They emerge from solitude with direction that others can't shake. Acting as if you are the best also means balancing ambition with gratitude. Gratitude grounds you. Without it, success feels empty and endless striving becomes slavery. The best are deeply grateful for opportunities, mentors, even failures that shaped them. Gratitude does not mean complacency. It means appreciating the present while building the future. Daily gratitude practices. Listing 3 things you are thankful for. Writing appreciation notes, pausing before meals. Retrain the brain to notice abundance instead of lack. This fuels motivation, because you are not operating from desperation but from fullness. Contentment is not laziness, it is emotional stability. It keeps you from chasing validation endlessly, yet gratitude must be paired with growth. The best can say, "I am grateful for what I have, and I am committed to becoming more." This paradox keeps them balanced. They enjoy the journey without abandoning the destination. Gratitude also enhances relationships. People are drawn to those who appreciate, not to those who complain. When you live with gratitude, you radiate abundance, and abundance attracts opportunities. Ultimately, acting as if you are the best is not about pretending. It is about becoming. You become the standard that others measure against. This does not mean you are flawless. It means you embody discipline, resilience, vision, adaptability, and humility so consistently that others look to you as proof of what's possible. Being the standard is responsibility. Your actions inspire or mislead, so integrity becomes non-negotiable. You live as if the world is watching, not out of fear, but out of duty to excellence. Becoming the standard also means raising environments. At home, at work, in society, you set higher bars. Mediocrity feels uncomfortable in your presence because you normalize excellence. Over time, you stop chasing the label, the best, because you realize the pursuit itself has transformed you. You don't need to say it, your life shows it. The ultimate reward is not applause or recognition, but mastery of self. To act as if you are the best, and to live so consistently, ensures that no one, not even you, can deny it. You are not pretending, you are becoming. Thank you for watching this video.